Hi everyone, welcome to Solvable Stories. Game development today has an epidemic of checklist development. If you want your game to have mass appeal, you'd better include a large variety of systems and features to draw in as many different audiences as possible. You've got to have a crafting system, 1,000 different side quests to tackle different themes and topics, engaging combat mechanics, an affinity system, a leveling system, skills, character customization, weapon customization, New Game Plus, and 100 other things that draw in as many different gamers as possible. But the result, inevitably, is an unfocused product. There isn't a coherent theme or emotional register of the resultant experience because the developers didn't develop the game with that intent. A Short Hike is a shining example of the conscious, focused, and intentional game design that has eluded AAA development either by choice or by necessity. Everything from this point on is a spoiler. I'd urge you to play the game before watching the rest of this video. It's short, cheap, available on Game Pass, and it's one of the most vital experiences I've seen in a video game so far. Please take the time to experience it yourself. A Short Hike is a game about stress and obsession. Specifically, it's about how the more you cling to one worry or goal or idea, the less you pay attention to the world around you and allow that world to enrich your life. The tighter the fist, the looser the sand, so to speak. Claire, the character you occupy, is on vacation in Hawks Peak Provincial Park and has been shut inside all day worrying about a phone call she's expecting. Upon learning that the only place with cell service is at the top of the peak, she sets off to reach the summit. Now, you could easily rush your way to the top of the mountain, the thought of missing that phone call pushing you higher and higher as you block out everything else around you, but I don't think many people play the game that way. And that's because of a carefully designed map that constantly pushes you off the beaten path. You can't get to the top of the mountain right away. You need golden feathers to help you climb, and though they're easily attainable, you run into various characters enjoying the afternoon out in the park as you work to expand your climbing range, and find yourself becoming absorbed in their lives and hobbies. There's the pair of rock climbers training to scale the peak. It's pretty clear they've never done anything this intense before, and you constantly watch them persevere as you make your way up. There's the painter who's worried about pleasing a snobbish gallery crowd, but gradually realizes that he should instead stay true to his own style of landscape painting. There's a slacker ship hand who offers you fishing tips, and a toucan who teaches you to glide, a seashell collector who demands 15 of them and offers you essentially nothing in return, and a runner who's lost her lucky headband. There are quite a few others, and each time you get lost in one of these miniature stories, that phone call slides further and further back in your mind. When you finally reach the peak, it's almost a surprise when your phone rings. It's your mother, who's been in a routine surgery. It went well, and everything is completely fine. And in a wonderfully weightless final sequence, you ride an updraft high into the sky and soar around the island, passing by everyone you met on the way up, free from worry entirely, as you revel in this sensation of flight. The way it feels to fly in this game is magnificent, swooping downward to gain momentum before slowing down to bank back and forth around the pixelated scenery of the island. The genius of A Short Hike is in its show-don't-tell design philosophy. It's you, the player, that makes the choice to wander off and take in the scenery rather than focus singularly on your goal. It's entirely up to you how distracted you allow yourself to become, how willing you are to free your mind from stresses and objectives and simply embrace what's around you, and the game rewards you for this wandering consistently. This effect would be ruined completely if these characters were poorly written, or the quests were tedious, or it stopped being a joy to simply interact with the locals and help them with their various problems, but this was never the case. Again and again, each vignette in the game felt like a little gift. My fondest memory was when I took the boat rental operator's bored son out on a boat ride, then launched the boat off a ramp and ultimately took it to the bored ship hand I met much earlier for repair. It was a simple enough story, but memorable for two things. First, the fact that the game never told me to go to the ship hand, it was just something that felt natural to do. And second, just how well the boat controlled. The boat doesn't help you climb the mountain, doesn't have anything to do with the main mechanics of the game at all, didn't really need to be here. But it was a blast to drive around, and the joy I took in just jetting around the water reinforced that main emotional theme of the game. I'd also like to highlight that the dialogue in this game is incredible. It's not stiff and it's not twee. most of the time. The conversations felt informal and natural, and there was a real sense of rhythm to conversations because of the way text was spaced out between button presses and the way our player character isn't a blank slate. There are two distinct voices in every conversation rather than the wooden plank protagonist a lot of games provide. Video game writing is in a pretty rough place right now. I mean, it's getting better with time, but it's still not where it needs to be, but this game is a very pleasant exception to that. So here we have a game that demonstrates that unique power that video games have to show rather than to tell, to deliver an emotional message not through watching someone else's actions, but instead through your own decisions as you play the game. And every single facet of the game's design reinforces that core message, and the result is a genuinely moving experience. I can't recommend this game highly enough. 4 stars out of 4. And you really should, even if you ignored the spoiler warning earlier, go play the game yourself. Go experience this. It's fantastic. And thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. And of course, in the comments, suggest any game that you might want to see me play and review. And I would love to experience that as well. Thank you.